Hey guys, welcome to video number 2 in the Yeti to Party series. If you missed video number 1, then you missed this adorable Yeti to Party It's Your Birthday card. This Stampin' Stack makes 3 of this card. The link to this video is below. We're in video number 2. Stampin' Stack makes 3 of this Is It Christmas Yeti card. That's the card we're going to do today. And the kit also makes 2 of this Holiday Hugs and Winter Wishes card. This will be our video number 3 in the series. I'll be back with this one tomorrow. All right, so for our cards today, we're going to get into our Yeti to Party Stampin' Stack kit. This is available at kitchentablestamper.com/shop. Well, supplies last. You get almost a third of a package of the fine sparkle adhesive backed gems, a third of a spool of papaya ribbon, a quarter package of the Storybook Gnomes Designer Series paper, and we're going to take 1 piece of this design. You get 2 of each of the 6x6 designs in this kit, plenty to make your cards and lots left over to play with. 1 of this design, we're going to take those out. You also get your card kits, and we do all the die cutting and punching for you. We don't do the embossing. I did some ahead in my kit. It would be hundreds and hundreds of cards. We can't do it, but you can do the whimsical trees or any embossing or stamping that you want to do on your background. And we're going to start with that right now. So we need these soft suede card kits. Your card kit will look like this. You get your card. It's cut and scored for you. We do the punching and die cutting for you. In each kit, you'll find a Calypso Coral heart. This stitch heart was cut for you ahead of time using the Celebrations tags dies. We did a banner for your sentiment. We used the same banner on all, or on the last card too, on 6 of the 8 cards. This is the wider banner, the bigger, wider one from Stylish Shapes. I'm going to cut that one for you. We also punched the swoopy circle for you. The swoopy circle is a new decorative circle punch, and we punched it from Mint Matte Ground. So if you're cutting your own kits, that's what you'll need. 3 of each of those for this particular card design. I'm going to go through and just put my pieces in like piles so that I have everybody ready to go here. All right, so I've gone ahead and I've done 2 of my card bases already. If I'm doing this as a Stampin' Stack style, what I'm doing is I'm doing all 8 card bases. So whatever the Stampin' Stack is, no matter how many cards it makes, I usually do all my backgrounds, all my stamping, all my coloring, all my die cutting. And I just do it 1 step at a time for all the cards at once. It makes these Stampin' Stacks come together really super quickly and efficiently. So if you're following along at home, whether you're cutting your own kit or you're doing the kit, now is the time to go ahead and emboss or background stamp, whatever you're going to do on your backgrounds. Do it for all your cards right now. I'm going to use this Whimsical Trees. It's a 3D folder, so I'm putting it in with the logo down, and the fold goes into the machine. It's on the platform, which is number 1. Put 4 on top and give it a crank. And we're going to get just an adorable whimsical forest for our Yeti. Nature's Harvest, Nature's Meadow, Meadow Harvest, Meadow Bundle, Meadow Nature Meadow, something like that. All right, so we're going to run the bone folder over and fold up this card, and then let's cut our Designer Series paper. Now, the next 2 cards in this series, this are Yeti, Is It Christmas Yeti, and Holiday Hugs and Winter Wishes. These designs are Wonder Recipe number 6. So this is our Wonder Recipe number 6. And we're going to cut our Designer Series papers that we chose according to the Wonder Recipe. And then we'll have all the pieces for the next 5 cards in the series. So the Stampin' Up! Trimmer and Designer Series paper are awesome for 2 layers. It can totally handle it. But we have one directional piece of paper here. So we want to make sure that we cut this and preserve the direction that we want this to go in the end. So we're going to start with the two pieces in the trimmer at 3 inches and cut. And we're going to rotate, and we're going to cut 2 inches and slide that aside, cut 2 inches. And we're going to do the same thing with the other half of these two pieces of paper. So we're getting all of our pieces cut in at one time here. So I'm going to do this first row, pick it up, and I'm going to pop it onto the grid. That's how I roll with the Wonder Recipe. A Wonder Recipe is a 6x6 one-sheet wonder. Cut up a 6x6 paper, or it's expandable. So 2 6x6 papers, 3 6x6 papers. The more papers you cut up, the more copies of the card you can make. The idea is you cut up the designer series paper. It was beautiful to start with, but you cut it up and then you turn it into something that's more beautiful. This Wonder Recipe number 6, you can find lots of samples of Wonder Recipe number 6. Just use the sorting feature on the right-hand menu of how to use the pieces from a Wonder Recipe number 6 one-sheet wonder. What we're going to do is adhere one of each design and our swoopy circle to the background of our card bases. We've got 3 of them. So 1, 2, 3. There's a pair, one of each design, and we'll set this aside for the next video in the series. Now, before we start adhering our designer series paper, let's grab our speckle. You can use a speckle from any stamp set you've got. You could put a background stamp on this. You do what appeals to you. One of my favorite little speckles from current stamp set is Quiet Meadow. You can go back as far as the Swirly Bird. The Swirly Bird was my original love for a Stampin' Up! Speckle. So grab a speckle stamp and some Mint Macron ink. We're just going to add a little texture to this cutout. I've got my little mini grid paper here that'll keep our surface clean. And we'll go ahead with this little speckle. I am just going to go right across the bottom. And then again, kind of across the top. That's it. We'll just add the tiniest bit of texture and interest. It's little details like this that make the whole thing. Let's do that for all 3. All right, there's our speckles. Let's get some liquid glue and the card bases and adhere them. Here's our sample. Card bases and liquid glue. And what I like to do is run the liquid glue on the back of each piece. So now it's all ready to go, and we can kind of shift and arrange as we go. I'm going to add our swoopy circle. And then our 2 pieces of designer series paper. I'm going to kind of overlap those a bit. So cute. And that's what we're aiming for. All that lovely texture and background. Let's do it again. 1 for each card. All right, backgrounds are done. Let's get our sentiments and our Yetis stamped. We've got our banners, some soft suede ink, and Stampin' Pierce mat. Now we're going to stamp as a Christmas Yeti to the left-hand side, so we have room for our embellishments. We've got a little bow and a Christmas tree and heart embellishment. So off to the left, 1 for each card. All right, just like we did all 3 of our sentiments at once, we're going to do our Yetis next. Now, I've gone ahead by the magic of television, and I've got 2 Yetis and the Christmas trees for 2 copies of the card already done. But I want to show you how we do this. So I'm going to take what's left of the cardstock after I did my 2 Yetis. Here we go. And my 6 Christmas trees, because you need 9 Christmas trees and 3 Yetis for this design of the Stampin' Stack. We're going to do our Yeti the same as we did in card number 1. So we'll stamp in soft suede. And then our design has 3 little Christmas tree like embellishments. So we're going to do 3 of those guys. All right, let's clear away the ink pads and Stampin' Pierce matte. And then we're going to do our ribbon so we can give our Yetis a little bit of time to dry. We're going to tie each of these tag or banners with some of the pale papaya ribbon from your kit. We'll just wrap and tie a bow. If I'm doing this Stampin' Stack, I'm stamping not just 1 Yeti or 3 Yetis for this design, but the kit makes 8 cards. Each one has a Yeti on it. So I'm stamping 8 Yetis and coloring 8 Yetis all at once to get the most out of this kit in the least amount of time and effort. So just keep that in mind if you're doing this as a Stampin' Stack with the kit, or if you've cut your own kit, you want to do all of your coloring for all your designs, for all your copies of those designs all at one time, just like you're doing all your backgrounds all at one time. Not practical for making an instructional video, but very practical for putting together a Stampin' Stack kit. Now we've done our little bow tied around our tag. I'm going to slide it just a little bit closer to the right end. And we're going to do the same thing with the other 2 banners. All right, I'll go ahead and tie those up and then we'll get back and color our Yeti. All right, now we've got 3 bows on 3 banners. Let's go back to our Yeti and Christmas trees and color. I'm going to use the same colors that we used in the first video. Got dark mint macaron, light crumb cake, and the color lifter, and light soft suede. For the cheeks and the tongue, we've got some light calypso coral. And we're going to start with these little trees. We're just going to color them in, and we're doing just a little kind of a flick. Just working in the wet edge to get a nice solid smooth fill. We're going to do the same thing with all 3 or all 9 because you're making 3 copies. And then our Yeti is going to get colored with light crumb cake in big open circles, well, little open circles really. Just want to leave a little bit of white as you go, kind of scribbling, add some texture with this first layer of this technique. You don't want to see that usual solid fill that we generally go for when we're using Stampin' Blend markers. We're generally looking for a smooth, no line fill, that kind of professional look. This time we're trying to go for a fuzzy kind of matted fur Yeti. So we're going to do circles and leave a little bit of room to breathe in between. Leave these circles open a little bit. All right, so you can see Yeti isn't solid colored. Now we're going to go with our color lifter and do the same thing. Little circles with open spaces. The color lifter doesn't really lift. It's kind of a misnomer. It pushes the ink deep into the cardstock, so it's kind of a color pusher. And as you go over the crumb cake scribbles with the color lifter scribbles, what you'll see is the crumb cake kind of start to dissolve and looks fuzzy, kind of like a furry Yeti. So if you look at the bottom half of Yeti, you can see those smooth open circles. And if you look at the top half of Yeti, as the color lifter is pushing the ink back and blending it, doing its thing, we're starting to get a fuzzy looking Yeti. So it's just a fun little technique that you can do with anything that you want to look fluffy or fuzzy or furry. Just use that color lifter. All right, don't put the color lifter back yet because we're now going to do cheeks and tongue. So we'll do the tongue, add some blush on the cheeks of our little Yeti, and then we're going to use the color lifter to dissolve some of that Calypso Coral marker and soften up those cheeks so it looks like a blushing cheek and not like a clown makeup. I'm going to do one more push with the color lifter to soften that up even more after we do the Yeti's horns. We're using light soft suede. All right, one more push with the color lifter on the cheeks here. Soften that up even more. Yeti's got a chilly cheeks. Now we're going to grab our Yeti dies. Yep, Yeti dies. So Yeti to Party is a stamp set in the Stampin' Up! Holiday catalog. And for a limited time, and while supplies last, Stampin' Up! Has produced the Yeti dies. So if you already got the Yeti stamp set, Yeti to Party stamp set, you can order the Yeti dies, or you can order in a bundle and save 10%. This is September 1st through the 30th while supplies last. It's part of the Perfect Partners promotion. There are 6 stamp sets that now have dies. So the Yeti dies are 160253. And if you don't have the stamps yet, the Yeti to Party bundle is 162529. And you can save 10% on both of these products if you order them together while supplies last. Now, I'm going to emphasize the while supplies last part. Sometimes Stampin' Up! Sells out of dies quickly, and they will not back order them, and these will not be available in any future publications. So if you got your eyes on it and you want it, order early in September. We're gonna have to do 3 passes through the machine here because we have the little tree 3 times. So I'm gonna go ahead and line this up and give it a crank, and then get the other 3 Christmas trees cut out. I love the ease of the die. When I first designed this class, I did not know there were dies coming, and I did fussy cut them, so it's not impossible. I like to fussy cut it. If you like to fussy cut, it's definitely not impossible, but the dies sure do make it easy. Give a quick crank here, and then back through 2 more times to get those little trees. Okay, all done with the Yeti dies. We've got our Yeti and our 3 Christmas trees. The Christmas trees can get some Stampin' Dimensionals on the back. Put a little mini on each one. And I've got a mini on each one for each copy of my card because it's a Stampin' Stack. We're going to do 3. Get everybody all sticky. Peel the release off of those and our cards. We're going to liquid glue our banner and our Yeti. So let's go ahead and do that for each copy of the card. Little liquid glue. It's going to go right across over all those great designer series paper and our swoopy circle. Get those glued down. And then be careful with your little sticky Christmas trees. Let's glue our Yeti. Don't cover your sentiment. Ha, he's cute. All right, let's do all 3 of these guys. All right, now the little Christmas trees, those are next. We're gonna put 2 in Yeti's hands, and then 1. Yeah, hold on to 1. Let's grab our little heart. And we're gonna add the heart to the knot of the bow with a mini glue dot. So add that little heart embellishment. Then it'll be easier to see where we can tuck the little Christmas tree without covering the greeting. All right, so 2 more copies. We'll add the trees and the heart. Got my last little heart embellishment here right on the center of the bow, and then tuck the tree. Now, what card is complete without a little sparkle? Let's grab our Fine Sparkle adhesive gems, and we're going to add 3 for each card. So I'm going to put a big one and a little one on the top of the trees here, and then a little one on the tree here. All right, 2 more, and we're all done. There it is. Is it Christmas Yeti? We've done our second design in our Yeti to Party Stamp-A-Stack card class. If you missed video number 1, check out the link below. And I'll see you in video number 3, where we'll make holiday hugs and winter wishes. To get the new Yeti dies or the Yeti to Party bundle while supplies last, you can buzz over to marisa.alvarez.stampinup.net and click shop. If you've got any questions at all about the Stamp-A-Stack, the class packets, the projects, email marisa@kitchentablestamper.com. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.